Hello everyone. Today we are going to focus on some of the JavaScript interview questions. So I will use jsfiddle.net to execute some of the JavaScript code. So the first question will be, so I will use comments just to keep the questions. So the first question is, explain what is the difference between Object.freeze and constant. Okay, this will be the most frequent question. So basically, const applies to the bindings. It creates an immutable binding, means you cannot assign any new value to the const. For example, const, you are going to declare some pi value and you are going to mention some value 3.1. Okay, and if you are trying to change this value with any other things like ABC, so it will throw an error. So it will throw an error, that is, it will, so when you run it will throw an assignment. You cannot assign, you cannot do a assignment to the constant variable. Okay, but so what about the object? For example, so you are going to create an object, let person with some name as a property. Okay, so freeze basically we used to make the object immutable, means no one should not change the name value. Okay, for example, so I will freeze this object using object dot freeze. So I will pass the object person. Okay, so I freeze the object. Now if I try to modify the name property with this string, and if you are trying to print the value of that object, so the value won't get assigned. The value remains the same. So this is what the object.freeze will do. Okay, this is the first question, and the next question will be, what is the difference between forEach and map? So this is the second question. So what will be the difference? Can you guess, anyone? Okay. See, forEach will basically it will modify the original array, but and the map will return the new array. So for example, if you take let array is equal to some values. Okay, then so if you are trying to use a for each, array dot for each, so we'll pass a callback to it, and array of index is equal to number. So this, and if you print it, if you print the array, so basically so you're getting some error console. Okay, number, if you are multiplied with some value 2, so this will actually modify the original array. Okay, but if you use the map, if you use the map will actually return the new array. For example, let doubled is equal to array dot map. This is an arrow function callback. So if you pass, so this will return a new array, but it won't modify the actual array. See, if you print, this is the original array. So you console.log doubled array. So this will print a new, the map will basically print a new array with the modified values. So that is the difference. For each will modify the original array and map won't modify the original array. So sometimes they will ask you to write the outputs of the following code. For example, what will be the output of this code? So then you need to analyze this code first. So already printed the value console.log output. So this will return a 0. So basically what happens, delete you cannot use on a variable. So delete basically, this is operator where we use to delete a property from the object. Here x is not a object but it's a local variable, and this delete doesn't affect the local variable. Okay, and this function is immediately invoked, so it will return the output as 0. Okay, and sometimes they will ask you to run a delete operator on some of the objects. For example, suppose I'm going to create a variable employee. So it is having a property called company xyz. Okay, and I will create an instance of this operator using object.create. Employee1 is equal to object.create. I will pass this object to this okay. So this time if I run delete employee1 dot company, so what will happen, this actually will delete the property if this property is the own property of this object. Since it is not the own property of the employee1, so console.log employee1 dot company, so we are getting some error, employee is not defined. So this won't affect this employee1 dot delete employee1 dot company, because the delete operator will actually run on the original object. It won't run on the inherited object. Yeah, I think that's it for the day. Thank you. So I will share this in the description. Please go through these JavaScript questions. I will come up with a lot more questions in the upcoming days.